We tend to think that dissection with the express purpose of understanding human anatomy is a relatively modern practice, but it actually dates back to earlier than you think. The practice began in the 3rd century BCE and is associated with the Greek physician Herophilus. Herophilus, who was born in 335 BCE, is considered the earliest anatomist. He was the pioneer of systematic human dissection. His work on human subjects helped him establish the diagnostic value of the pulse, using water clocks as an aid to measure heart rate. He also suggested that the brain was the source of intelligence and that it was responsible for controlling the body, not the heart, like was originally believed. Anatomical dissection was reportedly outlawed sometime in the 3rd century BCE. It was seen to be of little practical benefit to physicians of the time and deeply immoral by others, particularly as in many religions it was believed that dissection would interfere with an individual's salvation. Herophilus's work is said to have been destroyed during the fire of the Library of Alexandria in around 391 CE. However, references in Galen's writing would suggest that some information somehow survived. Galen, who was born in 129 CE, very much built on Herophilus's work, but due to taboos around human dissection could only practice on the remains of animals. Galen's observations were the most influential source of anatomical knowledge for well over a millennia. It wasn't until 1231 that humans were once again permitted to be dissected. The Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II decreed that one body could be dissected every 5 years in order to educate physicians. Between the 11th and 14th century, dissection received legal support across Europe, but with similar strict conditions, only a set number per year, and the dissections could only be performed on convicted criminals. These events were highly ritualised. Galen's writings were read while an assistants, who were often barbersurgeons, would perform the act. Before too long, inconsistencies in Galen's writings were noticed. Remember, he only operated on animals. These differences were often attributed to the imperfections or sinfulness of the human subject, rather than incompatibility between animal and human anatomy. In 1543, the Flemish physician Andreasvesalius authored the first illustrated printed anatomy textbook. This book highlighted the importance of anatomical study and corrected many of Galen's errors. The importance of anatomical study was finally being realised, and the limit of the number of individuals that could be studied was increased. But there was just one big problem. There just weren't enough newly executed criminals to meet demand, and the law was very clear on who was to be dissected. This is where things start to turn very dark, and this is where we start to see the appearance of the resurrectionmen. These were body snatchers who dug up recently buried corpses and sold them to medical schools for anatomical study. Physicians took on a don't ask, don't tell mentality, leading to a thriving illegal trade. Public fear and outrage increased after notorious cases such as the murders committed by William Burke and William Hare in Edinburgh, where victims were killed and sold for dissection. These events highlighted the need for reform and contributed to the passing of the Anatomy Act of 1832, which allowed the medical schools legal access to unclaimed bodies from workhouses and hospitals, reducing the reliance on grave robbing.